All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a story that completely blew my mind. We are talking about the insane, literal god-tier progression of an underestimated stable boy who climbs his way to absolute power. If you are into a good revenge arc, mixed with mind-bending power scaling and some seriously incredible plot twists, well, you are in the perfect place. We're going to break down exactly how one man defied fate, magic, and even the heavens.
Our story actually starts at the end of a life. Just listen to these chilling words. You're too strong, too long, too thick to be allowed to exist. Those are the actual words of Emperor Kaiser, spoken to his absolute best friend Joshua Sanders. Now, Joshua was the continent's strongest spear knight. I mean, he practically handed Kaiser the throne by ending a massive civil war single-handedly. And how was he rewarded for that ultimate loyalty? With a brutal ambush in the middle of a forest. He's betrayed and murdered by the very emperor he bled to protect. It's a classic, infuriating betrayal, and it perfectly sets up our ultimate revenge arc.
But you know, Joshua doesn't just die in that forest. As a magic circle detonates beneath him, his legendary spear activates, and boom, he wakes up screaming in a pile of hay. He has regressed. He is back at age 9. So, today we're going to track this wild roadmap, this incredibly fast-paced journey from a dead legend to a malnourished 9-year-old kid all the way to becoming a literal god.
Now, the dramatic irony right out of the gate is just incredible. Picture this setup. You have Babel, the 14-year-old recognized genius heir of the Agnes Duchy. And standing against him is our protagonist, Joshua, a 9-year-old, illegitimate, malnourished stable boy who literally hasn't spoken a single word. The villains here, the guards, his half-brother, they totally think they're just bullying a weak, defenseless kid. They are completely clueless that a legendary master tactician and warrior is hiding inside that tiny body, basically grinning because he knows exactly how the future plays out.
So, that brings us to a massive, seemingly impossible question. Can a 9-year-old with a literal wooden broomstick actually defeat an acclaimed genius and a fully trained B-rank Imperial Knight? The answer is a violent, resounding yes. Joshua doesn't just scrape by and survive. He completely flips the script. He channels a mana technique that took him decades to master in his past life, pushing his tiny physical body to its absolute breaking point to shock every single person who ever looked down on him.
I mean, the sheer disrespect Joshua dishes out here is legendary. This is what I like to call the ultimate underdog flex. First off, he goes on an absolute rampage, obliterating 3 elite centurions who dared to insult his mother, literally sending them flying. When his older brother Babel challenges him with a real steel sword, Joshua snaps it in half using only his wooden stick. He absolutely terrifies the Duke's elite soldiers, earns the undying loyalty of a top Crimson Knight named Cain, and get this, he manages to match a B-rank knight named Joker using pure C-rank mana. And to cap it all off, he becomes the youngest person ever to lift the Imperial sword. Just incredible.
But he isn't doing all of this completely solo. Enter Lucia, the Red Spear. Joshua reclaims his iconic weapon pretty early on, but here's the crazy twist from his past life. It's actually a talking, sentient artifact. Lucia possesses subspace magic and is deeply tied to this really dark, cosmic history. And more importantly, Lucia acts as a crucial regulator for Joshua, helping him balance the wildly clashing demonic and divine forces that are raging inside his new body.
Because mastering his old magic spearmanship in a new super frail body, that is no joke. Step 1 is literally just pushing his malnourished frame to safely channel mana without his body completely giving out. From there, he unlocks Stage 1, the Lightning Slash. Fast forward a bit, and he's unleashing Stage 2, Gust, to completely wipe out hordes of cobalt monsters and survive a massive black ogre in a deadly forest. All of this is him desperately chasing that god-tier Stage 6 reality-bending power that he couldn't even reach in his first life.
All right, let's fast forward a bit to age 15. After a major time skip, we find a teenage Joshua just dominating the Imperial Academy. He definitely isn't hiding in the stables anymore. He openly defies the royal forces, clashes with the treacherous Prince Caesar, and stands toe-to-toe with Emperor Marcus right in the middle of the imperial court. He is demanding respect and basically flipping the hierarchy of the entire empire upside down.
Because here's the thing. Joshua's journey isn't just some simple hit list of personal revenge. In a world completely obsessed with swords, where spears are basically treated like cheap farming tools, he is on a crusade.
He projects his voice across a literal battlefield to make a terrifying declaration. He says, "For those who follow this spear, it will be more dependable than any other. For those who stand against it, it will be more deadly than the gods of death." He is going to force the entire sword-obsessed continent to bow to the spear. But as always, things take a massive, dark turn. What happens when a mortal quest for revenge collides with an actual cosmic threat? Everything escalates way beyond human limits. That Emperor Marcus he's been wanting to destroy this whole time? Well, it turns out Marcus is actually nothing but a shell, possessed by the true big bad of our story, the demon god. So suddenly, this isn't just about politics or taking the throne anymore, it is literally about the survival of the entire human race.
Pushed to the absolute brink by this demon god, Joshua realizes that normal mana just isn't going to cut it anymore. So he achieves something called the Trinity. He takes demonic energy, merges it with divine power, that holy light inside him, and binds them together with raw mana. By harmonizing all three of these totally opposing cosmic energies, he actually unlocks the power of creation. His whole body turns white, a blinding halo appears above his head, and he evolves entirely beyond humanity.
And man, the hype hits maximum levels right here. Joshua's ascension to godhood is just an incredible sequence. In this final battle, Joshua casually blocks the demon god's full power attack using just a single arm. The demon god starts raining down this corrupting sludge that infects Joshua's friends, turning them into monsters, but Joshua instantly purifies them with his new light. He then uses a devastating technique called null annihilation to literally rip the demon god's essence right out, leaving Emperor Marcus behind as an empty, defeated shell. He proves once and for all that absolutely no deity can outmatch his spear.
But true victory always comes at a massive cost, right? To actually secure this win, Joshua has to gather 5 elemental Genesis stones: fire, water, ice, wind, and lightning. You see, the demon god is essentially a parasite. Even after being pulled out of the Emperor, it desperately tries to cling to Joshua's own body to survive. So Joshua formulates one final, incredibly desperate move.
Because rather than just walking away as the victor, Joshua makes an absolutely heartbreaking choice. He tells his allies, "I'm doing this for everyone's happiness." He makes the ultimate sacrifice. He decides to use those Genesis stones to completely freeze his own body. By cutting off his own life force and going into a deep freeze, he chooses to starve the parasitic demon god trapped inside him. He trades his own future so his friends and his kingdom can finally live in peace. Which leaves us with his haunting final image. Joshua standing frozen forever inside a massive block of crystalline ice, surrounded by the power of the Genesis stones. His ultimate fate is completely unknown. So what do you think? Did this ultimate overpowered hero sacrifice himself for good, dying a slow death to starve a god? Or is he just resting in that ice, waiting to thaw out for an even crazier sequel when the world inevitably needs the Spear Knight again? I hope this explainer gave you a really clear picture of Joshua's incredible journey. Until next time, stay curious.